Tracy, can you talk to me about how Winsted's solving the next generation of control rooms?
Yeah, well, I think historically control rooms have been a lot about getting the spatial layout, trying to get as many people in the room as you can.
Yep.
And what happens is you miss a lot of fundamentals of what makes a control room operate at peak productivity and peak accuracy. So what we try to do is take a holistic look at the control room.
Okay.
That always starts with the operator.
Right.
That's operator productivity. So
right.
how that operator, the ergonomics, the sight lines, but we also want to look at the rest of the room and the impact it has on the operator with distractions. So now you got to start looking at how that technology integrates, how you get the cable management connected to the console, to the wall, and we take a lot of time to do that.
So you're working with the operator, ultimately the operator's part of the end user group, but how do you work together with the consultants, the architects, the integrator and dealer to make sure that happens?
The most important thing is to get connected with the key decision makers and the operators. And if you can get them in the same room, ideally in the control room itself, and then ask a series of questions so that you can understand what's unique about that control room, and then how you need to customize all those things we were talking about, from cable management, technology integration, with the ultimate goal of reducing distractions. You reduce distractions, you're going to get that productivity and that accuracy that's so important.
Absolutely, and I know probably 3 to 5 years ago, the big takeaway from a console and command center was no more sitting. We don't want them sitting, we want them standing so many minutes a day. So this way, again, activity, productivity, comfort is all there. Besides the cable management, what are some of the other things that people have to look at today before all of a sudden they just start throwing equipment in a room or a monitor on the wall?
Well, I think you've got to remember that those operators, first off, they're there for 24 hours, 7 days a week, so you're talking about multiple shifts.
Yep.
So you've got one operator who might be 6'5". You have another operator who's 5'6".
Right.
And so that you have to be able to have that functionality, not just with sit stand, but also with the KVMs. So that again, you take that into account. The only way you'll ever get that is by getting on site, asking those questions in coordination with the A&E firm, the consultants, so that everybody's on the same page.
Gotcha. How important is lighting in a command center or control room?
Always one of the most important fundamentals. You put that and acoustics, those two things, that's where most of your distractions come from. If you don't get the lighting right and you get glare, you're missing valuable information. And you got business assets on the other end of that. You have human life on the other end of that, so it's critical. And acoustics, same thing. You get distractions, and a lot of times the operator or the control room manager may be unaware of just how many distractions are happening in a control room, and we try to take all that into account.
I know one of the things that so many people overlook also is how important are the chairs and the seating in a control center where somebody is, again, we don't want them sitting 8 hours, 12 hours a day, but how important is that comfort or the mobility and even the legs on the chairs? Where does that all play into it?
It is a critical element. I would almost say it's essential that you think about a 24/7 chair. Again, because you've got multiple shifts, and not only is it comfort is probably second. It's really about ergonomics. And then understanding. So all of our sales team have their CEAS ergonomic assessment. So again, when we're on site, we're always trying to do those assessments so that we come up with the right recommendations.
A control room, we can talk about it, we can lay it out, we can show pictures, but I know Winsted now also has, I like to say, a command center now at your facility. How important is that to get people at?
Again, it's critical. If all those things we're talking about, the next generation control room, it's not spatial layout, it's about design for functionality. So we love to have customers, end users come in and have their own experience, do their own demo, try different chairs, see different kinds of consoles that we have, see the wall, the different mountings, the server room, all of that comes into it, and the only way you can do that is to have that kind of experience.
I was up there a couple months ago, and I tell you what, super impressed with it because, again, when you talk about glare and things like that, but when you can actually see it and you can go, oh my goodness, I can see so much better. I get more information out of the video. And I'm in a comfortable area, and I know we even got out some natural light, put more natural light in, just to, again, see, will it affect some of the monitors and how much glare? It really makes you think about these things even that much more when you can actually touch it, feel it, see it, and as a group with professionals at Winsted, they even talk about it. So we sort of all know then what the next generation of control room is from what our customers' needs are. And I think that's just, it's wonderful.
Yeah, we are open for any customer that you would ever want to invite in, and we'll give them a first-class treatment, and we will really give them an experience of here's what not to do. So we show them, what happens when they don't have the right acoustics or the right lighting, or there's glare coming in or traffic flow, and then they can understand it, and then we try to integrate that into our designs.
Perfect. Tracy, thank you so much.
Thanks, Tom.